Hello and welcome to BlastOne International's training DVD on airless pumps. The whole idea of this is to keep you safe and to give you a fundamental understanding of how the pump operates. Basically what this is what we call a pneumatic pump. So it has an air-driven air motor and a fluid leg. So the air motor is driven by a compressor and the fluid leg is driven by the air motor itself. So before we attempt to even utilise or use this piece of equipment, we have to make sure that one, we have air, and two, the pump is functional. So primarily before we even start, we'll go to the compressor, make sure we have fuel, the air cleaners are clean, the compressor is level, and the battery is charged. Once we start the compressor, we know that that's functional, and we make sure that primarily is working out before we even attempt to utilise the piece of equipment, because we need the air. The one thing you've got to remember with these airless pumps is, before I start to do anything, I have to make sure it all works. So basically compressor, ensure the pump air motor works, as I'll show you as we go through this DVD, and also too the fluid pump works as well. The other fundamental aspect of it is that we'll put this suction hose on the bottom of the pump to ensure that we can suck the fluid up through the pump and out through the spray gun. The one thing to remember is that what we're trying to achieve here is transfer efficiency. So the transfer efficiency is derived from the fact that we want to get the paint out of a tin and onto the wall. So how do we appropriate that in a manner that's conducive to the requirement? Basically what it requires is understanding the product before we put it through the pump. This particular airless pump here is an Extreme X60. So to give you an understanding of how they work, is this air motor is an X60. So for every pound or PSI I put into this air motor, I'll get 60 back. So at 100 PSI, I get 6,000 PSI back out of that pump. Fundamentally, that's how they work. So for every pound I put in, I get 60 back. So if it was a 71, it'd be 7 pound back, and so on. An X60 is your run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-range pump. It'll do everything for you from airless, from zincs, right through to the top end, 100% volume solids. Volume solids. That's the consistency of the paint and how we have to manipulate that to accommodate appropriate atomisation out of the pump.